Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
All hands back at battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. 5 o'clock on the East Coast in Florida. Actually, a couple minutes after 5 o'clock on this beautiful Friday afternoon, September 6th, 6 days into September already, and the kids are all back to school. All you parents out there, you're enjoying that, aren't you? But drive carefully because those kids are like all over the street. It's going to get dark in a couple of months early, so please be aware of that. We don't need any accidents anywhere around. We need you alive and well watching this show so that when the end of the world comes, we'll be here to tell you first about it. And if this administration keeps going in the direction it's going, the end of the world, at least the end of the world as we know it, may not be that far away. Have you figured out anybody? Has anybody out there listening on WNN 1470? It's Friday afternoon. You got a wonderful weekend planned. You're going to jump in your car. You're leaving work right now. You're going home. You're packing. You're going down to the Keys. You're going to illegally dive for lobsters. You're going to hide somewhere and eat them. Whatever you're doing, have you lobster divers? Or how about the elite intellectuals? Do elite intellectuals listen to the show? I don't know. Okay. All of you frat boys who are listening.
Frat boys.
Any of you folks listening, have you? Has anyone?
Gator fans.
Gator fans.
Miami fans.
Hats off to the Broncos last night.
Right.
I lived in Denver for about 8 or 9 years and was a big Bronco fan. And Mr. Manning did a phenomenal job, 7 touchdowns, first time in like 50 years or something. So congratulations to the Broncos, great city. When I was there, folks, in the late 80s, it was a conservative town. I left and the whole thing went to hell. Can you believe it? They're leftists who are so left, their left is left of their left. But has anybody out there, you on the left, on the right, in the middle, anybody, has anyone figured out at all what the hell President Obama is doing, hell-bent on taking this country to war?
What's
on
up with
this
that?
Friday, on this JUMPIN JUM'AH Freaky Friday. We're gonna ask that question. And whereas we are a little laid back typically on Fridays, you'll see I'm in the center here. No CJ.
No CJ.
CJ's, last we heard, she was partying hardy at her Rosh Hashanah parties and
That's right.
and having a blast, ringing in the new year.
Punch, drinking her Hanukkah punch and everything.
Drinking the punch or whatever she drinks. She'll be back Monday. And next week we have for you, but we're going to ask this question today. What is Obama doing? Next week on Monday, right now, this is in process. We're gonna break a story about an event that's going to take place on 9/11 in Washington. We're going to break a story regarding some of the organizers. Stay tuned Monday. Very interesting developments in process right now.
Okay.
Actually, Tuesday, we're doing that story. Tuesday. Monday, we are doing we'll give you a little recap of the insanity over the weekend. Then we have a special presentation regarding Senator John McCain and his collaboration collaboration with the enemy. No, we're doing that one today. I got to get my schedule right here. Today we're doing that one. Monday, we're going to deal with President Obama's collaboration with the enemy, which is a continuing story. He last week, Labor Day weekend, was a convention of a bunch of terrorists in Washington, D.C. Real terrorists, folks. You know, if you fund terrorism or if you conspire to advance terrorism, you are de facto, as a fact, a terrorist.
But you're just going by the definitions of the U.S. government.
I know. See, in the postmodern world we live in, definitions no longer have any coherence or consistency to them. Everybody is a man unto himself, an island unto himself, and he can interpret anything the way he wants to, and that's why things are the way they are. But on Monday, we're going to show you a connection between President Obama and a terrorist organization called ISNA, I-S-N-A, Islamic Society of North America. That's the organizing entity for all the Muslim Brotherhood entities in the United States of America. We're going to show you his collaboration, endorsement, enjoyment, and joined at the hip mint with ISNA and the evil, evil, evil Muslims involved with ISNA. That's Monday. Tuesday, break a story regarding the big million Muslim whatever march in D.C. Hey, what do you guys think? 25 people? 100 people? How many Muslims are actually going to show up at the Million Muslim Stupid March? What do you think?
I got the 10 and under.
10
A
and under?
fraction of the New York Muslim Day Parade. A very small
A fraction.
fraction.
It was a couple thousand at that one. My guess is there's enough dim-witted Muslims actually to go out to this thing. I mean, 500 to 1,000, I'd say. So we shall see. But that's on Thursday of next week. When is 9/11? Thursday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah. Yes, Wednesday. That's the Million Muslim March. We'll have some folks there reporting back to us. We will be next week, the United West team, Tom Trento, these guys here. We will be in Venice, Florida, which is over just south of Sarasota, Florida, a little bit north of Naples, Florida, on the west coast of Florida. We'll be at Patriots Park with Gene Sweeney, great Patriot veteran Gene Sweeney, been on our show. He built a memorial to those who have died, those warriors who have died since 9/11, put their names on this memorial, and I'm honored to be the keynote speaker. Next Wednesday, Patriots Park, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 4-hour gig. We got about 20 different speakers. We have some parents of SEAL Team 6 warriors who died in Extortion 17. We have parents of one of the CIA agents that was killed in Afghanistan when the double agent drove in and bombed all the CIA agents around him. We have the parents of that individual. We'll tell you more about that in the week to come. But today's JUM'AH Freaky Friday, and normally we're a bit laid back. It's Friday, and we highlight the absurdities of the system Islam. And let me establish the record on this as we normally do. We do not hate Muslims. If a Muslim is holding an AK-47 trying to kill a U.S. soldier, we hate that person. Okay, and in the sense that that's an act of war, and we want our side to win. I know that sounds unfair, but we want our side to beat their side. But in terms of a position as human beings, we do not hate Muslims. In fact, just the opposite. Why would we risk all that we could risk doing a show like this for no money? I mean, we make no money. Everybody's a volunteer. We struggle and pray to try to get the bills paid each week. Why in the world would we do something like this if it wasn't love for our fellow man, love for our country, concern for the way things are going in the world, concern for the future? Well, one of those, love for our fellow man, extends to members of the human race. If an individual happens to be born and raised in the system Islam, we look at that individual in a pathetic manner. We think the system of Islam, and we will criticize not radical Islam, not Sharia Islam, though we use Sharia for a specific purpose at times, not extremism, Islam as a system. The Third Reich philosophical system, as developed by several German philosophers, as articulated and implemented by the Austrian Adolf Hitler, was a comprehensive system that had a philosophical base and a political mechanism to accomplish the philosophical principles. In that same way, Islam is a philosophical system, a worldview, if you will, that has primarily a governmental component, a political component. Unlike Christianity, Christianity comes out of Judaism. In fact, the New Testament says that Christianity is the branch grafted into the tree, whereas the tree is Judaism. The branch grafted in is believing that Jesus, a Jew, is the Messiah. That's the Christian faith. In that capacity, the Christian faith, there never was a political system or doctrine. Conversely, in classic Torah, in classic Judaic history and thought, there was a political system. And a very fascinating system where the Jews who came out of bondage from Egypt needed some government, so God gave them judges, and then he gave them kings and all these different things, and it was a theocratic system. Didn't work out quite that well. And whereas the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible has a political component, the New Testament Christianity never did, never does doctrinally. Irresponsibly and improperly, though sometimes it's understood historically, the church, when it grew, and it grew out of Rome, and it was Catholic universal, the Roman Catholic Church saw a necessity, because of the illiteracy of the populace, to also provide in its religious instruction political instruction. When you mix political instruction with religious instruction, you get Islam. You get insanity.
Right.
And the Catholic Church learned those lessons, and evangelical Christianity, Protestant Christianity, which I am a part of that community, we repudiate factually any representation that Christianity has a political position to it. It does not. In fact, when Jesus came into to Jerusalem, and his entrance, and all the people thought that he was going to come in and rule as a king politically, overthrow the government authorities controlling Jerusalem at that time, and set up a political kingdom. He didn't do that.
Let Caesar.
Yeah, he didn't do that, and there was tremendous disappointment by his own followers, because he says, I'm not here to set up a political kingdom. I'm here to set up a spiritual kingdom. And the thinking is very simple. If an individual can have a relationship with God primarily, and that constrains and contains who that individual is, a proper relationship with God, then the thinking is that individual can live in any government system anywhere on the face of the earth successfully, because the Christian is supposed to be a responsible citizen, obeying the government, and not fighting or overthrowing the government, unless the government itself calls for that, and that person's functioning as a citizen, not on Christian doctrine to overthrow governments. This stuff's very clear once you start getting into it. On JUM'AH Freaky Friday, we try to point out the absurdities of Islam qua Islam, Islam, as a political system, which doesn't have a minor objective in its articulation or its expansion. It's supremacist. It simply says, Allah gave us this religion, and we have an obligation to give it to the world. And if the world doesn't want it, we have to kill them, okay? The political doctrines of Islam are fueled by the religious component of Islam. But our show and our national security expertise in JUM'AH Freaky Friday is designed sort of as a parody, or in the classic sense of sarcasm and comedy, to draw attention to the failures of Islam as a system, with the intent of pulling human beings, Muslims, out of that system and providing sanctuary and refuge for those who want to leave this classically destructive, intellectually, morally, and psychologically system called Islam. That's what we typically do. And we do that with a little bit of humor. Jump in JUM'AH Freaky Friday. Let me stop there. You guys, I know, want to say something. Then we'll continue with our material.
Well, in essence,
Kind of fun today.
in essence, what you were saying with the Christianity is render under Caesar's what is Caesar and render under God what is God.
Yes.
That is not the case under Islam. And if you look at the majority of what Islam is, it is the Sharia compliant Islam. So that's the reason you define it, and I define Islam as this totalitarian Sharia compliant state, which it is. Not the minority, which people are saying it's not. The moderate Islam is the Islam that's in the Middle East. The liberal leftist loon Muslims are the ones that the liberals call moderate. And our paradigm shift of what we define Islam is out of whack of what truth is. And if you look at the scale of 1 to 10, you know, the Muslims here in the United States are far liberal left, you know, San Francisco type Muslims, and that's what they are. But in reality, the vast majority of Muslims throughout the world are Sharia compliant.
And we'll put some numbers to that, Mark, to quantify what you just said. There are 1.3 billion Muslims in the world, 1.3 billion. There are 2.3 million, not 7-8. Never accept the number 7-8 million Muslims. President Obama lies.
Right.
He when you take an...
That guy does not lie.
Okay. He fibs. He doesn't tell the truth.
He exaggerates the truth.
Let's put it this way, Damon. If the moment he took his inauguration, January 2009, and this would be good if we can do this somehow, for presidents only. Whenever you lie, your nose grows an inch. Okay, right? So every time you lie, your nose grows an inch, starting when you're inaugurated into the
Longer than the Verrazano.
Yeah. Yes, when he entered the Verrazano, they'd have to stop traffic on the other side. I go,
Yes.
President's coming.
No president's here.
President's here. You know, he'd have to have the biggest tractor trailer you imagine just to carry his nose down
Small
the road.
children could cross the Hudson on it.
He could go down to the Potomac on the Washington side, put his nose out, and they can climb over his nose to go to Virginia.
I bet you could probably see it from
Who
the
needs a stinking ferry?
I bet you could see from the space shuttle, like the wall.
Probably
of China,
could.
Tom, I would like to talk about what you
You
and
know who
Mark say.
wouldn't like that? You know who wouldn't like that?
Who's that?
Michelle.
Michelle.
I think that could be a
My
problem.
bell.
Yeah, you know.
She might.
In their romantic moments, that could get in the way. I would
Yes.
think.
It might be the romantic moment.
So,
Yes, I would like to comment on what you and Mark say.
Abdullah, I didn't even see you over there. What are you doing here?
First of all, I would like to say
It's Rosh Hashanah. What are you doing here?
yes, I do
Oh, you
not
don't-
practice
okay.
that Zionist pig faith of your
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
I would like to comment on what you and Mark say.
Sure.
Yes, when you mix religion and politics, you get Islam, and that is why it is so much far superior to your backwards man-made law of the United States. You see that your government is absolutely deadlocked, cannot do anything, is paralyzed, is bankrupt, complete failure. Your system of government, your morals and society are in the toilet. They could play handball against the curb.
Right.
You have nothing. So if you were to combine society's rules, religion, and politics, you do end up with the perfection that is Islam, not the trash that you are practicing in your kuffaric country.
So let me get some straight here, Imam. Who is the de facto caliphate of Islam? Is it the OIC, or is it the Muslim Brotherhood, or is the Muslim Brotherhood trying to become the de facto?
Well, the OIC right now is, of course, the
OIC, for our listeners
Right.
and viewers, Organization of Islamic Cooperation. 56, 57 Muslim
56
countries,
countries, 57 members.
all trying to figure out how to kill each other, but go ahead.
Yes. When the OIC deals with the rest of the world, the other 140 whatever countries, the OIC act as one ummah, okay? But of course, because the Muslims...
What is that, the OIC on the screen?
Yes.
On the screen, folks, we have the homepage of the OIC. Mark, if you can pull up what their mission is, it's fascinating. I can't see, but if somebody can read that, go ahead.
Yes. So when Muslims are dealing with the rest of the world, the OIC would be considered the Ummah. But within the OIC, of course, you have countries that do not agree and are actually, you have people killing each other within the OIC countries. But when dealing with Kufar, we will stick together. And once we have killed the people of Saturday and the people of Sunday, then us people of Friday will sort it out amongst
Okay, now when you
ourselves.
say kill the people of Saturday and Friday, you certainly don't mean kill all of them. What you mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, kill enough of them for them to submit to Islam, which is what Islam means, to submit. Is that correct?
Yes, you can either, you have the three choices. Tom, you are well aware of the three choices once we have become the dominant force in your country. One, you convert to Islam.
Okay.
Two is you become a dhimmi, you pay the jizya, the poll tax, and you live as...
Submit to Islam, and I don't want to go so
You
far.
do not
as
have to convert. You can keep your filthy religion, but you must pay a
Okay.
tax to stay alive, and I can spit on you anytime I want.
Okay.
Okay, and the third choice, if you do not convert, you do not pay the jizya, I can simply lop your head off.
Well, I
And
do have an
folks,
interesting-
the third point of Islam, if you do not convert and you do not want to pay the tax to be submissive in this totalitarian political construct, then you have to die. That is based upon a political construct that says Islam is a state, and if you refuse to follow the state's laws, you become a traitor to the state, just like in the United States of America. If someone violates essential laws in the United States of America to subvert the government, they're a traitor. We kill those kind of people. We haven't done it in 50 years or so, but the doctrine says we could do that. We put them in jail now. Islam is the same way. It simply says if you're not going to revert and become a Muslim, or if you're not going to submit and become a second-class citizen, then you stand against everything Islam is.
Off with
How
your
could
head.
How could we being Islam, how could we run a successful country with a bunch of people who violate the essential principles of Islam? We have to kill them. It makes sense living inside the head of Muslims to understand this. Now, somebody's going to raise the question, Tom Trento, you're very involved in politics and you're a Christian. You just contradicted what you said. You know, Christians and politics. Somebody want to explain how that's not a contradiction?
Go ahead. I'm reading the
Okay.
Ummah, so go ahead.
I would say that is not a contradiction because you are simply giving a synopsis of what Islam is. You are not saying that Christianity needs to be put in place to run the government. What you are doing is saying that Islam does not have a place in government.
Well, the founding of the Constitution, I mean, pretty much says what you were trying to highlight. It does not say people who have religious ideals or religious beliefs should not be in government.
Right.
Which is what Democrats think.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is no, because if you look at the founding of our Constitution, founding fathers, you know, many of them were ministers, church leaders, elders, and what have you. But they were put in positions to help guide, not to have the church tell them what to do, so they run the government. It's a much different thing when you
Totally.
have the church, you know, church running state and state, you know. running church.
The simple explanation, and you're hitting on it, Mark, is I'm analyzing two systems, Islam and Christianity. Christianity, if somebody says, let's build a Christian political system, let's go to the New Testament. This is not the New Testament. This is a devious Islamic Sharia book. Make believe it's a New Testament. Let's go to the New Testament and let's see how we are supposed to build a political system in this world. You can look all day long in all of the books, and you're not going to find how to build a political system in Christianity. Conversely, somebody says, how do you build a political system in Islam?
Well, here
you
you
go
go.
to the Quran, and it tells you how to build and how you're obligated to build it. So I'm critiquing systems, one that contains a political dynamic necessarily, and one that doesn't. But that doesn't mean me as a Christian can try to influence, and we ought to try to influence the system I'm in. If I'm living in a communist system, I'm going to try to influence that system more toward a righteous view of human nature and justice and freedom. But there is no Christian political system. There isn't any, and whenever churches have tried to do that, it has failed. That's why we're saying Islam inherently cannot coexist in the West, because the West has learned these lessons and has repudiated any sort of religious political structure. Not that religious people can't influence the political structure. That's the distinct difference, very important difference.
And here's the primary difference. You know, I'm going to read a statement to you. And tell me what this means, Tom.
What's it from?
You tell me what
Oh,
it's from.
okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It's a trick.
The organization has a singular honor to galvanize the Ummah into a unified body.
White House. It's the White House. It's the White House Situation Room press release today.
You're exactly right, Tom.
That's the Organization for Islamic Cooperation.
That's right.
That's
right
their
off
mission.
that's their mission statement.
Read it again.
The organization has a singular honor to galvanize the Ummah into a unified body.
Why the hell are we trying to solve Syria's problem if the largest Islamic body in the world has as its mission exactly what President Obama is trying to do? Answer that.
Because a Muslim cannot kill a Muslim. You cannot have a Muslim killing a Muslim. That is one reason. What we like to do is hire your guns so you can be the bad guy, and we can be even more upset with you and kill more of you, and we do not have Muslim to blame.
That's why at 28 minutes after 5 o'clock on September 6, 2013, WNN 1470 and TrentoVision.tv, or you can watch too on theunitedwest.org, or you can watch on Tea Party Community. Hi, Tea Party. Let's give Tea Party. Hello, everybody. Tim, all you guys at Tea Party Community. Anyone with a website that would like to have our show on your homepage, 5 o'clock, so that you can draw traffic to your site, we'll tell you how to do that. Contact us at tom@TrentoVision.tv. We'll tell you how to put this show, 5 o'clock, advertise it. We want you to go to Bare Naked Islam. That website is doing phenomenal
or don't
work.
go. You cannot go as well.
BizPackReview.net, great work. All these logos are coming up on our screen. Dr. Rich Swire at watchdogwire.com. We'll be with him next week over in Venezia. And you can listen to us on it's WWNNradio.com. That's the website. I know we're giving you a lot of stuff, but replay this. Or if you're driving in your automobile, WNN 1470 in South Florida. Or iHeartRadio. Where's my phone? What did I do with my phone? That's in my pocket.
I don't know.
Is it
No,
pink?
it isn't. Mike, can you get me
you-
my phone, please, on my desk? I
But
think.
could you imagine if the Christian church out of, let's say, Italy, okay, the Pope comes out and says, I'm here to galvanize Christians throughout the world to install a Christian state throughout the world run by Christians.
They tried that. Yeah.
Mandated by Christians.
What would happen?
Ruled by and the same thing with Judaism. What if the state of Israel
The
says
Jews have been trying for centuries to do that. Did you not read the protocols of the elders of Zion?
I'm going back and forth with a Muslim guy now.
right,
And, he's just criticizes us for everything.
right.
And I said, how many times have you read your copy of Protocols? He says, I'm not, look in my briefcase maybe. I'm not familiar with that publication.
Liar.
Liar, pants on fire, Mohammed. His name Mohammed. But what I was saying earlier was that what we do, part of what we do on JUM'AH Freaky Friday, is to put a clarion call out to those Muslims, 2.3 million in America primarily, who want nothing to do with totalitarian Islam, supremacist Islam, Sharia-compliant Islam, Mideastern Islam. They may want to be like Zuhdi Jasser and kind of worship privately and
But
be
they're
a great
the
American.
exception, not the rule.
They're an exception.
They are
We're
apostates.
here to help you, and we understand how difficult it is to extricate yourself from the tribe that you live in. And I use the term purposely, folks, tribe, because Islam is very tribal, and at its root, that's what all humanity is connected minimally in a tribe, a family, and a tribe. And when Muslims come over, first, second generation Muslims in America, because we deal with a lot of them on college campuses, they want to, the 20-year-olds, many of them, they want to go to Disney World. They want to have an iPad. They want to dance. They want to have a beer. They want to do regular Western stuff.
I want to twerk.
They want to twerk.
I figured out what twerking was.
Muslim twerking. They want to twerk.
You know what twerking is, Tom?
Twist and jerk.
I got an idea, but I try to keep that stuff out of my head. What is it?
You stand up and you shake your butt cheeks.
Mike, you have to be on. Mike, let me have
Mark.
nothing. Mark, you have to be on screen.
What it is?
When you're
You
describing
want me to show you how to
shaking your
twerk?
butt.
Yes.
He was moving like he was moving like that.
You take your butt cheeks and you make them go up and down really, really, really fast.
Yeah, let's see. Should demonstrate for the viewers.
No.
$20 if you
I
can
don't-
twerk,
no,
Mark.
I can't twerk.
Twerk with Damon.
I am twerking.
Twerk with Abdullah. That could be good.
Abdullah does not twerk. There is no twerking in Islam.
Where was I?
There is
Saving.
absolutely no twerking in Islam.
Call my phone. See if you can find
I
it.
did 3 times.
Look in the TrentoVision Learjet parked outside, the white one.
The white Learjet.
The
yes.
white Learjet.
Right next to our yacht.
Up the tunnel next to the Abrams.
Yeah.
Right next to our yacht.
We're trying to extricate Western interested Muslims from Islam. So give me a minute. Let me share this. We did this
Okay.
with several Muslims. Probably the most prominent was Rifka Barry.
Right.
Back in 2008, 9, 10. She's doing well, by the way. She's tucked away, different name, different everything, doing great. And we're here to help anybody that wants to get out of Islam. We will provide food, shelter, clothing, legal help, whatever you want. You have my word publicly. If you want to get out of Islam and get into some sort of sanctuary situation, whether you're a woman or a guy, we have women that do this, we'll do it. We're here to help you. Was it over there? Okay, great, thanks. Okay. iHeartRadio. Oh, my phone number. Oh, no. Did you see that on
Yeah.
on TV?
Well, you hand out your business card with it on there, Tom. So, you know.
Okay, a bunch of stuff on there. So we're here to do that. And and you don't have to convert to Christianity or Judaism or anything. Just if you want to get out of something, there's no quid pro quo. We're here to help because we think that that Islam is a failed system and it's incompatible by doctrine, by scholarly edict with the West, and we're here to help you with that. We understand it. Now, oops, we got a lot of stuff for you. One of which is this thing just popped out.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
the world is so different.
No,
when this
but
thing
you,
pops
I
up.
mean, if you think fascism can be compatible with the United States, you think communism can be compatible with the United States, you think, radical socialism can be compatible with the United States, then you probably think Islam can be compatible with the United States. The ideologies are so much in sync between all those totalitarian, one rule, one government, no opinion, run by a organization,
An oligarchy,
an
or
oligarchy,
a dictator, something.
the theocracy system of Islam,
Theocratic, yeah.
and the theocratic system of Islam versus a fascistic system of Nazi Germany, almost identical. You can't get away from it. I mean, all the literature, all the documents, not our literature, not our stuff that we print out, their words,
Their stuff, Islamic scholarly
Scholars
material.
is all.
There is somebody, Mark, I don't think we can help.
Who's that?
This gentle person, gentle man, gentle woman in the UK, former army member in the United Kingdom, and this individual, I don't know if we can help somebody like this. We can help a lot of people, folks. I don't know if we can help. What's the person's name?
Well, it's kind of strange, but
Don't forget, it's JUM'AH Freaky Friday. This next little
well, his
ditty
name
is pretty
was
freaky.
Mr. Valander. And,
Mr. Valander?
Yeah, it was Mr. Valander. And let's just go ahead and bring the article up.
I'm bringing him out. Okay.
I don't know if we can help.
I'll go
If you're a Muslim in this situation, I don't know if we can help
UK soldier converts to Islam, gets surgery, becomes first transcend. I can't say it.
So you got to read it.
UK soldier converts to Islam, gets surgery, becomes first transgender gay Muslim woman.
Oh, I got to Imam Abdullah.
You got to read that again.
She should be
right, let me read
it. I mean, is it
UK soldier.
Where is
So-
this in Islam? Where is this?
UK soldier converts
Okay, hold it.
United Kingdom, not
Okay.
University of Kentucky. United Kingdom.
All right, we have a
There's like 15 different contradictions in this whole.
we have an army member of the prestigious British Army.
All right, first of all,
converts to Islam,
Okay, and the story goes on to say he thought it was
and they get a surgery.
Okay, then he has to get surgery. Broken arm surgery or what?
No.
What kind of surgery?
Well,
what kind of surgery?
The kind that keeps you from standing while you pee.
Oh, he de-standified surgery.
So,
All right, so now he's a soldier. He converts to Islam. He says, "I'm really a she."
yeah, I like
So
to sit when I
he
pee.
gets the she surgery.
Yep. And hence becomes the first
In history, the first
to
in
become a
1400 years.
transgender gay Muslim woman. Now, if you want, it's a pretty short story. And this is from our friend Daniel Greenfield, who has another story we're going to get to.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a more apt metaphor for what the UK is doing to itself with Islam than the story of Mr. Lawrence Valander. A former trained soldier swapped his territorial army beret for a veil and became Britain's first transgender Muslim woman. Lawrence Valander now calls himself Lucy and says he is finally true to herself after a sex change 3 years ago. He is now married to a Muslim man he met on an online dating
Oh, you're
site.
kidding me.
But he did not know he was once a man when they wed. Meaning,
Oh, so
yeah,
she-
surprise, surprise, surprise.
That's not fair.
He now wears a full veil outside. Listen to this. He now wears a full veil outside her Swindon home to show the world he is married.
well, maybe I'm wrong, Imam Abdul, because isn't the Middle East just warmly just embracing this whole concept?
Absolutely not.
All right, put the picture one more time. You need to go to TrentoVision.tv. Our archives, by the way, folks, all of these shows are archived. You can go to youtube.com/ the name of our organization, The United West. So go there, take a look at this at 39 minutes after 5 o'clock. Put her picture or his picture back up one more time. Let me see it. Yeah, looks like just like a woman. Just like a guy going to
Might I recommend a full burqa?
he's going to a
This hijab is not doing tricks.
going to a Muslim Halloween party. Hey, Abdullah, you have Halloween parties?
We do not have, no, that
No.
is for pagans.
Do you have any parties for anything?
Yes, for weddings, but we have separate male and female celebrations.
Good.
But absolutely, we celebrate that. We celebrate successful suicide bombings.
And you have you name streets after some of the bombers. Daniel Greenfield, who is a Shulman scholar, Shulman writer, works for Front Page Magazine and a whole bunch of stuff. Sultan Kanish is his website. Phenomenal writer, Daniel Greenfield. He wrote that little piece, but he wrote a very serious piece that we're going to take a look at right now. And my colleagues on Team V2, we have been doing a lot of work on this issue. And on point, it hits the opening question I had, which was, what is President Obama doing, hell-bent on taking us to war with Syria? And notwithstanding the proverbial initial statements. It's limited, it's concise, it's pinpointed. Those are nonsensical terms in a military operation. Why would President Obama, remember who this gentleman is, President Obama. He was raised, and you heard this quite a bit on our show, he was raised in a leftist, socialist, doctrinaire, Marxist ideology, studied under Marxists, was an avowed anti-colonialist, repudiated the United States, probably wrote papers to this effect, which is why they haven't been released, that America was a colonizing country using its military strength to extend itself unfairly, illegitimately, unjustly into the affairs of other countries. This is who this guy is, the President Obama. This is how he lived. This is how he governed, whether at a state level or at a senatorial level or as a campaigner and as a president. Why this automatic 180-degree reversal to the point where he sounds like John friggin' Wayne?
Really?
Anybody have any idea why this president is hell-bent on blowing up Syria?
Yes, he's a Muslim brother.
And the Muslim Brotherhood wants Assad attacked because it's Muslim brothers who are attacking Assad. And you look at all the people he's starting to hang around. Who's John McCain hanging around with, running around? I mean, a guy who is a infiltrator into every aspect of CARE, ISNA, and not an infiltrator, a willing participant in CARE, ISNA, all the major Muslim Brotherhood groups.
Yep.
These people have infiltrated the Republican and the Democrat Party.
Let's do it this way. Let's say it this way. You said, Damon, the president is a Muslim brother. The Muslim Brotherhood, Ikhwan Muslim, is very similar to La Cosa Nostra in many respects. There are entry rights. There are vetting processes. You can't just say, I'm a Muslim brother. It is an organization.
I'm not saying he has the pinky ring, so to speak. He is a absolute Muslim Brotherhood sympathizer, facilitator.
Okay, well, in terms of being accurate in our language, we're going to get to the same place. We're going to get to the same place. President Obama is not a card-carrying communist or Marxist, though he.
But his mentor was.
Hold on. He is a card-carrying communist back when he joined the New Party. He actually was. He actually founded the New Party. We found out, yesterday with. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to
go ahead.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He started a party back in Chicago called the New Party, which was a doctrinaire Marxist organization, socialist organization.
Damn, was it a good party, too?
I don't think right now he's kept his membership up.
All right.
But his belief structure
didn't change. Yeah.
is harmonious with socialist doctrinaire Marxist principles, which is kind of bizarre in many respects.
Well, at no point has he ever come out and denounced, the communist principles, socialist principles, said that they're abhorrent. I ran around with Frank Marshall Davis, who's a devout communist in my young years. Boy, did I make a mistake.
Was that a mistake?
Was that a mistake? And all these other people I hire around me, I know that they are card-carrying Muslim sympathizing.
Not to mention his own supposed autobiography where he wrote that he purposely hung out with Marxists in college.
Yep.
But so he's hired all
That's
those
if he
people.
wrote his own autobiography.
As the world really works, in your wild and wacky teens and 20s and 30s where you experiment with some of these things, there is an evolutionary process. And the higher up you get elected to public office, the more restraints on you to implement your belief structure, particularly in a conservative country like America. So as he rose from a state senator to a federal senator to the president, a lot of his wild and wacky views had to be constrained, but they weren't. they were further embellished. But what happened? There's been this unique, talk about a paradigm shift, but this evolutionary geopolitical move on the president, and it started in Cairo in June of 2009, with tremendous sympathy and identification with whom?
The Muslim Brotherhood.
The real Muslim Brotherhood. at the university in Cairo, sponsored by Al-Azhar. Al-Azhar, which is the Muslim Brotherhood University, sponsored President Obama's speech. At that point, he developed this very close-knit relationship with the Muslim Brotherhood. Through the years, we saw it, we being Americans, and particularly us doing this kind of work. We saw the change in the lexicon in our law enforcement agencies, that the president now said you can't use these certain words.
Which came right from the OIC we explained earlier.
And we're scratching our heads going, where's this president getting this? Then we notice a coalition of legitimate a card-carrying Muslim brother is somebody that's running a Muslim Brotherhood as identified in federal law, the Holy Land Foundation trial, 2007-8 in Dallas, Texas. I drove by there not too long ago.
The people of Florida should be.
Sorry, I have the I had the proof.
Oh, okay. But if you're the president of ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, like Imam Mohammed Majid, you are a card-carrying Muslim brother. So we start, if you're in care in a leadership position, you are a Muslim brother. If you're in ISNA, any of these entities, and they're all identifiable and they all have been listed in this trial, folks. So this isn't right-wing, crazy, Jewish, Christian, United West, whack jobs just saying what we want to say. We're factually identifying federal law, federal evidence, and saying our president collaborates with Muslim brothers. We're going to save that for our Monday show. But we also now have a U.S. senator that is boggling our minds because he's a United States veteran war hero, Senator John McCain. He now is, and here's this evolutionary process I was talking about, he now finds himself on the world stage shoulder to shoulder with Muslim Brotherhood entities and pro-Sharia compliant Islam activists. Got it? All right, let's stop for a minute. Take a step back. I'm going to take a sip of water. You had something you wanted to play, then we'll get into some of the evidence.
Well, we'll play that tomorrow, the actual tape of that. But yeah, the Holy Land trial is obviously the cornerstone. Reviewed by judges, appealed, reviewed again, appealed, and then finally said, "Yep, this is the list. We're putting it out." And
5 guys convicted in jail for 15 to 60 years, 300
more
unindicted
co-conspirators, and they wanted to do, but Holder shut down the investigation, not anymore. But we won't go into that.
Mm-hmm.
The point being, this is infiltration at the highest level. What we've kept saying over and over and over again. Everybody thinks, oh, you guys are just going after Democrats all the time. You don't care about Republicans. You're just so blinded by your Republican ideology, you can't see straight. No.
We like Grover Norquist.
No, you do, Imam Abdul. But John McCain, as we're showing right now.
Get the email queued up.
He's brothered. He's
the email
listening
that we sent out today.
He's listening to, a very bad Muslim person who's had well, anyway, you going to pull that one up?
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. At 49 minutes after 5 o'clock on the 6th, September 6th, 2013, here on TrentoVision.tv. Hi, everybody. Tom Trento here. CJ is not with us today. She's completing the Rosh Hashanah holidays. So she'll be back in the office at the studio on Monday. But Damon is here. Imam Abdullah is here. Mark is here. Mike is here. The Bunker Boys. Hello to all our friends and enemies and fans and everybody else out there. Today's JUM'AH Freaky Friday show is to establish a couple of points. One, we don't hate Muslims. Number two, we're here to rescue Muslims out of the system of Islam. 3, the system of Islam has failed as a political system. Zuhdi Jasser, our good friend, articulates that fine point where he wants to take political Islam out of the Quran.
It's not Islam.
And just follow what?
It's not Islam.
Yeah.
It is his light.
Okay.
He wants to do that. That's fine. If anybody else wants to do that and you need help, we're here to help you do that. If you don't want to do that, word to the wise, warning. If you do not want to extricate political Islam out of Islam, if you want to keep it in and have it confront American constitutional republicanism, if that's your desire, you are at war ideologically with us. You are ideologically my enemy and the enemy of all Americans who have maybe taken the naturalization oath, but certainly hold to it. And if you're a Muslim who has been naturalized in America, you become a citizen, then fear God, the real God, if you violate the naturalization oath, which says you must abjure and reject all potentates, kings, and governments that you used to follow. Because the idea is if you leave another country, your damn rat hole of a country, if you leave there, you come here, it's because you want something better. Not to bring your rat holeness of one of your Islamic countries to the United States. That's an act of ideological war, and then you run into us and many, many other people. If you want to leave that crap at home and become an American citizen and assimilate and enjoy all that we have to offer, we'll hold our hand out, we'll love you, we'll help you with money, food, shelter, clothing, whatever. And if you think that's hate, then you're playing games with yourself. That's what's
Yes,
happening
you are.
there. You're not kidding.
Exactly.
Put up our email, and we're gonna show you right now a quick way to understand the war in Syria. The Syrian war on our screen right now. We sent out an email earlier today promoting this show. We'll put that thing back up there, please. And for the viewers, I want you to look at this. For the people driving in your car, we're going to graphically paint a picture as to what's on the screen. But go home, youtube.com/The United West. Take a look at this. The Syrian war explained in simple pictures. It says, hey, America, these experts on Syria, and we have 4 people. Can somebody read their names, please, and tell me their ages? Leave it up.
We have Muaz Mustafa, the executive director for the Syrian Emergency Task Force. Also, he was very involved in the Libyan liberation, as well as involved in Egypt. And you notice his
He's the head of this. How old is he?
Oh, he's 28.
He's 28 years old. Musa Mustafa, he's the guy on the left on your screen if you take a look at this. And he's got a kafia. And now cut to the picture with McCain where McCain is walking out, and in the foreground, Musa Mustafa, this is when McCain was in Syria. It is this group, the Syrian Emergency Task Force, put together by Musa Mustafa, 28 years old. He was born in Damascus, Syria, to Palestinian parents. And whenever you're born in Damascus, he's 28 years old, so he was born 28 years ago. Whenever you're born in Damascus, to Palestinian parents, guess where you moved to? Arkansas.
Yeah.
His parents moved from Damascus. Now the parents are Palestinian, the father, and they moved to Arkansas, where Musa Mustafa was raised, got very involved playing soccer, all of that, but really felt that he needed to be an activist, helping liberate essentially Sharia-compliant Muslims worldwide to establish peace, democracy, and justice. He's 28 years old. He was involved in supporting the Muslim Brotherhood's overthrow of Hosni Mubarak, 2011, the beginning of the Arab Spring. Then he went to Libya and helped advise the United States and overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, 28-year-old kid.
You want to see a nice picture of him?
Yeah. And then after Libya, he gets involved in the Syrian war, and he forms with a few other people, one of whom is Elizabeth Obagi. Elizabeth Obagi. She's like 29 years old. She's got a few degrees. Elizabeth Obagi, we'll get her picture up as soon as we can get a picture up. Elizabeth Obagi has become the new hot, and not hot in the sense of attractive, but new hot national security expert, being referred to by John McCain. Is that Musa Mustafa?
That's Musa Mustafa.
There's Musa Mustafa in his kafia. He has a record of Jew hatred statements. He has a record of being at significant Muslim Brotherhood conferences worldwide in solidarity with the Muslim Brotherhood. He now is leading the organization that is advising Senators John Kerry and Senators John McCain. Hey, folks, analogously, this is like having a chief of staff of Adolf Hitler, in that the Brotherhood, who fought with Hitler, ideologically has the same supremacist totalitarian principles as Hitler. The Musa Mustafa advising Senator McCain and Senator Kerry is analogous to Hitler's chief of staff advising Roosevelt in World War II. I mean, this is absurd
it's
and
crazy
bizarre,
yeah, right.
beyond just, oh, that's humorous. We're getting in touchy territory here, where McCain is trying to enlist men and women to go to battle. And when you fire a cruise missile or you have an airplane flying over someplace, United States soldiers, military is involved. McCain is precipitating this with President Obama based upon the guidance. Let's go back to that email. Let's go back to the email, because I'm fighting the clock here now. We have 4 key people. We have, but 2 we're going to reference. The guy on the left, Musa Mustafa, and then Bagley. O'Bagley, Elizabeth O'Bagley, right next to him. She is becoming the chief advisor to McCain and Obama and Kerry. Go to the second part of that email. First part says, these experts on Syria are leading these leaders, and there's a picture of President Obama and Senator McCain, to join these jihadis. That's the group. What's the name of that group?
Is that the Al-Nusra Front?
Al-Nusra. That's members of Al-Nusra. That's their flag right behind them.
The flag right behind them. Yeah.
Similar to the Al-Qaeda flag, a little different.
They are. They have pledged their allegiance to Al Qaeda.
Go back to that picture. Stand that picture. Everybody, look at this. You got 3 jihadis with the Al-Qaeda type flag, but it's Nusra's flag, but they're an offshoot of Al-Qaeda. So the 4 young advisors advising our leaders to join these jihadis, and here's the money shot. Ultimately to worship this book.
Yep.
We're cutting to the chase. The bottom line is the Syrian Emergency Task Force, which is providing intellectual and geopolitical guidance to those who want to bomb Syria, have ultimately, they're not going to tell you this, the objective of establishing an Islamic Sunni jihad state. That's where we're going with this, folks. That's why President Obama, and we'll continue this in our next show, which will be on Monday. President Obama, Senator Kerry, and Senator McCain are collaborating with the enemy, not by default, but by design.
But this all
Very,
coming
very bad.
from that thing we talked about a half hour ago, stemming from the top of the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Conference now. Is it cooperation? Cooperation now, because they keep changing their name. I mean, it's.
All right, we got 20 seconds. Concluding thoughts. Gentlemen.
Your country is ruined. Islam will, because of the congruency of political and religion, you have no chance against you.
You know what? You may be right. Here's the battle right here, folks, in the concluding seconds. Islam, the Dome of the Rock, the Golden Dome, or the world. Is it going to be this, or is it going to be this? Stay tuned.